If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, you can tell me that you hate my videos, but the best way to do that is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Johnny Fastlane here. So, Kanye goes off on Twitter. Let's talk hip hop. Alright, yo, this is crazy, right? Because you see right there, Kanye West threw one of his Grammys in the toilet and starts pissing on it, right? Now, Kanye West has 21 Grammys, so for him to piss on one of them ain't no big deal to him, but it's crazy as hell to the rest of us, right? And he's doing that to kind of just prove a point that he doesn't give a damn what anybody in the industry thinks about him or what he's trying to do right now, right? So the whole thing that Kanye West is trying to do, and he's been on Twitter all day, ever since the middle of the night, talking about how bad he wants to buy his masters, right? To the point where he's basically saying that his record label, Universal, won't even tell him how much his masters cost because they know that since now he's a billionaire, he's finna buy them, right? And basically he's like, yo, I need to own my own shit. I want my kids to own my masters, right? So Kanye West goes on Twitter and he has a bunch of tweets on there, and I'm not gonna read anything, I mean everything, but I am gonna read some of the important stuff, right? So Kanye West says, trust me, I won't stop until all this is fair. Trust me, from Nat Ye, aka Baby Putin is what he's calling himself, right? And then he goes, when you sign a music deal, you sign away your rights. Without the masters, you can't do anything with your own music. Someone else controls where it's played and when it's played. Artists have nothing except for the fame, touring, and the merch, right? And Kanye West is right. Also, in addition to controlling where it's played and when it's played, the person who owns the masters also gets paid when it's played. So if your song gets played on the radio and let's say you're actively signed to a record deal and you don't own your masters but your record label does, they get paid when your song is played, and yeah, they'll give you some money. They'll give you enough money to keep you quiet or shut you up or keep you satisfied, right? But if you're not actively in a record deal, like let's say the Beatles, they're not in no record deal at all right now. So if any like record station or if somebody streams a song by the Beatles, if the Beatles doesn't own their own masters, then whoever owns the masters gets it, right? And at one point before Michael Jackson died, actually Michael Jackson owned the Beatles masters. So Michael Jackson would be getting paid when the Beatles would be played on the radio, not anybody from the Beatles, right? Not Paul McCartney or anybody like that, right? In this case, since Michael Jackson passed away, I don't know who owns the Beatles masters now. It's probably maybe Michael Jackson's kids, right? So when you hear a Beatles song, just know Paul McCartney ain't getting paid, but Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter's getting paid, right? So it's crazy because Kanye West literally said, and I don't have the tweet, but he said, you know, listen, I want my kids to own my masters, not your kids, talking to the record labels, right? Then Kanye West turns around because he's trying to prove a point. He don't care how crazy he looks. He puts up all his contracts that he's pretty much, you know, I don't know if it's contracts that all the contracts he's ever signed, but he put up a bunch of contracts that he's signed, right? Contracts from like 2012, contracts showing that, you know, him and Good Music are going to be doing something with Universal Music Company. It's showing like how he's entering into a contract with IDJ, which is Island Def Jam. It even shows old contracts that he signed back with Rockefeller back in 2005, where he got like an $8 million advance and a $14 million advance. Like he's showing everything, all his paperwork, shit that people would not show at all. People that you sign a non-disclosure agreement with record labels so that you don't show your paperwork, right? It's hard to find rappers' actual paperwork on the internet, and Kanye West uploaded pages and pages and pages of this shit like a PDF. It's insane, right? So then Kanye West goes back on Twitter and he says, I wonder if Universal is gonna call me. I promise I have more ideas and I will not stop. I promise on God, he says, right? And he says all the musicians will be free. So not only does he want to fight for himself, but he wants every other musician to own their masters as well, right? He says, Bono, can I get a retweet? Talking about, you know, Bono. Love you, Paul. Can I get a retweet? Talking about Paul McCartney. Yo, you need to retweet this. Yo, Drake. Kendrick, even Taylor Swift. I need a retweet. I love you guys, right? We need you right now is what Kanye West is saying, right? So he is really serious about all of this, trying to get his masters for himself and for everybody else too, right? So of course, you know, Joe Budden got wind of this, and Joe Budden posts up this picture of Prince actually on his Instagram. And Joe Budden kind of talks about Kanye West and Prince and comparing those two together, right? So Joe Budden says, the man who invented the bundle package only to be stopped from using it, talking about Prince. It wasn't standard. Same bundle package implemented by most artists / record labels today. Talk about theft of generational wealth, right? His family fought over his estate while people for the rest of eternity will feed their families off of his IP, right? And Joe Budden is talking about how people for the rest of their family, whoever owns, you know, Prince's masters, are gonna feed their family for the rest of eternity off of his hard work, right? Then Joe Budden says Kanye West needs his masters back, and he needs some board seats too. And then Joe Budden even says, yo, the rappers need in on this caffeine deal too, right? And then he says it's a new century, a new era, new technology with the same old tricks from before, from the same people, done the exact same way to the same people. At least respect us enough to update the scam. Shaking my head. Pac said that he might not change the world, but he will inspire the person who will change the world. And Nipsey said that it's a marathon. So I hate to break it to you folks, but this is how I'm on until I'm gone. And you don't have to like it, you just got to get out my way. It is what it is, right? So Joe Budden is basically like, yo, I, you know, co-sign everything that Kanye West is saying, and I agree with Kanye, right? And Kanye West, you know, he always kind of goes crazy, but in this situation, Kanye West is talking real shit, right? But he's doing it in his typical Kanye way fashion, where he's got to be loud and quote-unquote crazy about it. But I think that this is all like carefully put together, and Kanye West is acting crazy on purpose to get his point across that not only him, but all artists who put their blood, sweat, and tears into their work, into their music, need to own the rights to that music, right? Which is something that I agree with 100%, man. Let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Johnny Fastin on Instagram, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.